Hi Stampers, it's super awesome stamper Shirley Merker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, USA. In this video, I will show how to assemble this card from the kit. The kits were available as my 12 Days of Christmas, December 2021 Kits in the Mail program. So let's get started. So if you purchased a kit, you will also want to round up your gathered together stamp set and also your gathered leaves dies. I only use the 3 pumpkin shapes from this set, so those are the 3 you're going to want to pull out of that set. And then I've already mounted the pumpkin, the single pumpkin, double pumpkin, the little spots, background spots, and then the verse, may this season bring you smiles and love will last, and love that will last all year. So I've mounted those on acrylic blocks already. I'm going to use the Cajun Craze ink pad as well and some markers. So I'll go through the markers once I get that far. So go ahead and open up your kit. It's the one with the crumb cake base. So all of my cardstocks for the 12 Dies of Christmas, all of the cardstocks are different colors, so you'll easily know which kit you need to assemble with which video. So open it up and see what you have. I included a length of this jute ribbon. This is retired, so that's why I gave you a big length so you can decide how you want to use it. I used 4 inches and I've already got that cut down. I gave you a bunch of these wonderful gems. We're only going to use a few, so go ahead and set those aside. And then I gave you double pieces of this wonderful pumpkin paper that was part of the Gilded Autumn Suite. We're only going to use one set of the gilded pumpkin paper. And then the rest of the pieces we will be using. So let's get our stamping done first. And the pieces that we are stamping on will be the inside, the plaid piece, and then the other, the second very vanilla piece so we can stamp our pumpkins. All right, and if you prefer to stamp on your paper piercing mat because you're using photopolymer, let me grab my mat. That little extra cushion of the photopolymer mat gives you a little bit extra to make sure the ink transfers from the stamp to the paper. Now I had a piece of paper that I already pre-stamped. Yes, here we go. I already pre-stamped the sentiment because I wasn't sure I could get that on straight on camera. But I will need to put the pumpkins in the upper right hand corner. So that's for the inside. Go ahead and stamp your sentiment and your pumpkins. And then on this piece, now you can save this piece for something else and go hunt up your Very Vanilla scraps. So I've got some Very Vanilla scraps. And you'll want to stamp 2 of the double pumpkins. So I've already got 1 stamped on a scrap. And 1 of the single pumpkin. And then, oh, I see what when I assembled this, I covered up all the stamping I did with these speckles. So just for a little bit of extra color, bring in that Cajun Craze, I just stamped some speckles along the bottom side. All right, so I think I'm done with the stamping, so I can cover that, close that up. And now I'm gonna step away and cut out my pumpkins. I'll be right back. You go ahead and cut your pumpkins out as well. So this die set has 2 of these double pumpkins. I really like that, so you can cut out 2 at once. And that out of the way. Okay. All right, so here's a sample card. And then let's get to coloring our pumpkins. So I have just some of our Stampin' Right markers. I picked Mango Melody, the Crushed Curry, Pumpkin Pie, and the Crumb Cake. And I just did an assortment of colors. So this is the Pumpkin Pie. I wasn't too fussy about where I laid the color down or if I fully covered all of the image. Now here I went outside the line, So I'm just going to extend that out, make it look like I wanted to do that. And then maybe on this one we'll make the big one a pumpkin pie. You can use whatever coloring medium you like. There, and then the Stampin' Right markers just are easy way to apply color. All right, and then this is the crushed curry. Oh, we want the fat end. That's the marker on the other side's the writing end. And then to get some variation in color, I took the Mango Melody and I just went down along the spines. So adding some natural shadows where the stamp image is already there. And I'll do the spines also on the pumpkin pie one. Just going maybe just to the right or left of those stamped images. And then we have to color the stem, so that's where the crumb cake comes in. Okay, I think we're done. We're done with the stamping and markering. So next up is I always run my card fronts through the embossing machine with some kind of embossing folder. And this one is the Tasteful Textiles. So it adds just a kind of a linen look. So go ahead and step away and pause the video and go ahead and emboss your card base. And then since this is embossed, we are going to use our glue to adhere that down. And then just start layering up. Let's hold that down for a few seconds. Okay. Since I've got my glue here going, we'll probably use the glue for most of it. So I just place that in the center. And the reason why I chose the crumb cake for this card design for the base is because the opposite side of the pumpkin paper has got crumb cake with some dark brown speckles. So that was my inspiration for that. Now you've got some sprigs, I'm multiplying sprigs here. So I put two on the top of the pumpkin pie, and one on the bottom of the pumpkin pie, and then one with the crumb cake. So that you could adhere however you'd like, but I'm just going to put a little bit of glue there. And catch the bottom of those stems. And just a little bit, because it does squish out. All right, our next layer is going to be this piece. Now you could put this on the inside, like at the bottom. I chose to flip it over and put it through and cover up the stem ends, the sprig ends. So those sprigs are from the sprig punch. And just like that. All right, and then next I popped up the center pumpkin. So you can grab your mini dimensionals or your regular size dimensionals, whatever you'd like. Oh, and before we do that, I see I attached down the jute. So where is my little piece of jute that I pre-cut? And it's pre-cut to 4 inches, or my piece is. You've got a full foot of jute twine. To attach this down, I used my glue dots, one on the end, one in the center, and then, oops, there's one right there I missed. One on the end. All right, so now the pumpkin's going to go over the center and kind of overhang the jute. And then these two pumpkins, I just had flat on the card base just to add a little bit of depth, but they're sitting on top of the jute. Just like that. Okay, I'm done with the liquid glue because liquid glue will show through the Very Vanilla or Whisper White. So I tend to grab a tape runner for those pieces. Oh, and I didn't color those in. So let's do Mango Melody. I thought I went rather quick with the coloring. And let's do a crushed curry. And then I'll come through with the pumpkin pie and run it down the spines. Okay. And then the crumb cake for the stems. There we go. All right, last, you've got a bunch of these gems, wonderful gems they're called. So I used 6, but I gave you more than 6. So I'm going to place one down there. I'm going to place the four smaller ones in the 4 corners. Anchor the card down. And then I'll place 2 to anchor the pumpkins. Now all the gems are speckled a little different. That's not a design flaw. Kind of the gold is a little different on each gem. So there. So that's your gather together and gathered leaves dies. So my sample card and the one I created, I'd probably move these over a little bit, or this one over a little bit. I don't know if I could pull that up right now. Because see, there's more space on this side than that side. What do you think? You gonna be able to do it? I think so, because it's still a little bit wet. Oh, look at that. There. I like that a little better. All right, before I sign off here, I'm going to go through the catalog and show you where all the products are that we used today. So the Many Marvelous Markers, it's a good half price item. It's on page 144. You get all 40 colors in that collection. We also sell the in colors, so 5 each in those 2 collections. The Sprig Punch is on page 166. And then the Tasteful Textile Embossing Folder is on page 185. And those are from the annual catalog. And then from the August to December catalog, the Wonderful Gems are on page 31. The pattern paper, see here's the pumpkin paper that we used today, is on page 45, part of the Gilded Autumn specialty paper. And then here's the stamp set and the framelits. So the Gather Together bundle, if you purchase it with the bundle item number, you get 10% off the individual items. So make sure if you like this die set and stamp set that you purchase it using the bundle item number. All right, thanks for watching. I've got 11 more of these 12 Dies of Christmas videos, so hope you're enjoying your journey with me. Make sure you click subscribe and the bell on my YouTube channel so that you are notified via email when I load new content. All right, thanks, Stampers. Have a good day, and we'll stamp with you soon. Bye.